Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Gav Major and this is WoWs Weekly. WoWs Weekly is the weekly news video which covers news of World of Warships Legends in the week past, present and future, along with channel speculation and anything else we can really put together, such as leaks and other information, I guess you could say. So, the headlines this week: Winter Adventures. It's time to put your skis on, chaps. Discounts on French cheese and wine are available in your tech tree. Here we go again, one last season of Legendary Arena. Once more into the breach, dear friends, once more. Also, next update, what do we know so far? What has been leaked? These headlines and more after this short break. So, Winter Adventures mission, which is now available in store for 2,022,000 credits. This is available from January the 17th until January the 24th and requires to be completed before January the 31st. What will this mission grant you? Well, it will grant you apparently a significant amount of camouflages, along with commander progression items such as promotion orders and insignia, I believe, along with a Super Santa 22 container. All in all, I took a look at it myself and I don't really need most of those resources, and so I've kind of given it a pass. However, your mileage may vary, so obviously feel free to check it out. It's a limited time mission. I don't know what the actual missions are. I haven't really looked into the breakdown, but it is only available until January the 24th and has to be completed before January the 31st. So, this week the French tech tree ships have been discounted. These are the tier 5, 6 and 7 tech tree ships. The discounts are as following: 25% off a tech tree tier 5, 20% off a tech tree tier 6 and 15% off a tech tree tier 7. So that's French ships this week. Next week, commencing January the 24th, running until January the 31st, will be ships of the Kriegsmarine, or the Germans. So feel free to hold off on upgrading, well, not upgrading, but purchasing any German ships until then, if you want to take full advantage of this discount. So, Arena Season 10, here we are, the final season of Arena this patch. It starts on January the 20th and is running until January the 24th, starting and ending at 7 AM UTC. Now, as you probably already can kind of tell, it's legendary tier ships. Ship types, there are no restrictions on what you can take, obviously subject to whatever you have available, and how many of those you can have in, say, a division. Team size is up to 3, but obviously you will sometimes find yourself in a 1v1. Divisions are allowed, and there's no restrictions in regards to size of divisions, obviously maximum 3, and there's no real restrictions what you can have in division, obviously whatever ships you have available. Obviously, the arms race mechanic is still going on. If you love it or hate it, it's certainly a Marmite thing for some people out there. And obviously, the way that those rewards work and everything is exactly the same as all the other seasons that we've had so far. The battle fatigue is obviously 10 battles per day. So obviously, the best 10 battles per day will count towards your end score on the leaderboard. If you play more than 10, obviously your worst games will be discounted or discontinued, I guess you could say. Now, obviously, your position on the final leaderboard is based on the amount of ship XP that you earn, and this includes boosters. So obviously, I'd recommend putting on the biggest and largest ship XP booster that you can in order to try and increase your position on the end table. But obviously, don't go wasting them as well. If you know, so like you only want to aim for 10%, you know you're not going to make the top 1%, then only probably do what you need to stay in the top 10%. Maps that will be running in this season will be Crash Zone, Haven, Land of Fire and Neighbours. So, the prize distribution of Season 10 of Arena. What are we looking at? Well, as you can see on my left, you might be able to see that, but honestly, let's start off from just participating and work our way up. So, for simply participating, you'll get free promotion orders, 100 winter coins and 200 paint. Get to the top 90%, you'll get an addition, 5 promotion orders, 250 winter coins and 100 steel. Make it to the top 50%, you're looking at 50,000 commander XP, 400 winter coins and 150 steel. Make it to the top 50%, you'll get an addition, 50,000 commander XP, 400 steel, and 400 winter coins and 150 steel. Make it to top 25%, you'll get 7 promotion orders, 550 winter coins and 200 steel. Make it to top 10%, you'll get in 1 universal accommodation, 700 winter coins and 300 steel. Top 1%, you're looking at 1 insignia, 850 winter coins and 500 steel. Now, these awards are cumulative, so if you make it to the top 1%, you'll get everything. If you make, say, to the top 25%, then you get the top 25%, 50%, 90%, and participating rewards. Most of these rewards, it's pretty much just steel and winter coins. So steel, obviously, is working towards purchasing those things in the forge, such as the Missouri, the Mamance, along with another couple of things like an insignia and stuff like that. And also with the winter coins, obviously, I guess the big thing that's available for that is the lion, but also there's a couple of other things that are available, such as promotional insignias and even the Super Santa container and Commander XP, I believe. So generally, if it's not for the winter coins and it's not for the steel, the rewards are rather lackluster, is the best way to put it. So really, the only people probably going to be playing this as hard as they can are the people who are interested in either purchasing things for those currencies that are available. So, next update, what do we know? Well, obviously there has been some leaks, as you might have seen. Now, we'll talk about the legitimacy of these leaks probably when we get to the end of this segment, but obviously, first things first, we know the patch is going to drop on January the 31st. Now, we can assume it's probably going to be the standard maintenance time of 7 AM to 10 AM UTC. So let's start with the concrete things, and then we'll start moving on to slightly more fluid things as we go along. So first of all, starting next update, all existing and upcoming Tier 6 premium ships will be available for a flat 12,500 doubloons, which means that ships which are available for 15,000 doubloons at the moment will be dropped down in price. And if you've already purchased any of these ships, you will not be receiving any compensation, unfortunately. So if you are looking at any of these ships that I'm about to list, do not purchase them now, wait until the next patch. The ships that will be affected, so basically the existing ships in game which are being affected, are the Atlanta, the Boise, the Kidd, the Ashitika, the Scharnhorst, the Letaba, and the Charlemagne. There's also worth mentioning that this means that all Tier 6 premium ships will be for a flat 12,500 in future, which means it's going to be very easy to predict how much they're going to cost. So a Tier 10 is always going to be 10,000 doubloons, a Tier 6 is always going to be 12,500 doubloons, a Tier 4 is always going to be 6,750 doubloons, which means it's going to be quite easy to say how much do you need to budget yourself if you do decide to purchase premium ships. At the end of this update, so this is the end of this update that we're in now, so basically on January the 31st, the Wilma will no longer be available. Wilma is the Tier 6 premium German OP cruiser if it's in the right hands. The reason being is she has probably the same HE8 DPM as an Atlanta, but she's also got the same armor as a York, and she's also got probably the twice best AP DPM. So she has a ridiculous amount of AP DPM, I should say, and she's also got a bit of tanky armor in order to resist. She's one of those ships which has basically been called for by the community to nerf, and even Sailing Robin has said he kind of feels the ship needs a nerf. However, rather than actually nerf the ship, they decided to cap the number of this ship in the game by removing her from the store. Therefore, the number of these ships in game will be basically restricted to whatever people have purchased before the end of this patch. So if you've already purchased this ship, hunky-dory, you got it. If you're interested in this ship, you're kind of the last chance to get her. Basically, she will disappear on the 31st of January. Now, obviously, she's one of these ships, obviously, you have to play well in order to get the most out of her. So it means just because she's a very strong ship doesn't mean that if you sail around broadside you're going to be an amazing player. You still have to understand how to play cruisers and you still have to know how to angle it. However, if you're a capable player, she's a very strong cruiser in the right hands. It's amusing that they decided not to nerf her. I suspect the reason being is there'll be a lot of people who'll be crying in their soup and stamping their feet at Wargaming should they have had their premium ship nerfed. However, nerfing premium ships is something that is within the terms and conditions of the game that everyone has signed, but we won't go into too much of that. I'm sure other people have commented on that or even actually covered it in their own videos. So if you want to learn about those terms and conditions, then obviously feel free to go find them elsewhere. So obviously next patch we know that the Tier 7 Italian battleship the Roma and the Tier 7 Pan-Asian destroyer the Loyang will become available for Globe XP. It's assumed that these will be available for 750,000 Globe XP as per every other Tier 7 premium Globe XP ship within the game. So obviously looking out for these ships, there they are. We also know that the British legendary tier cruiser, the Minotaur, will be added to the Bureau as a researchable project at the end of this patch. Basically, this patch ends into the February patch, she will be available in the Bureau. So if you decide that you're not going to purchase Amateur Backing to save yourself 2,500 points, or should you decide that you're not actually going to be able to finish this campaign in time, then she will be researchable and you'll be able to earn her for free, or you can boost it if you so wish in the next patch. So obviously, how long it takes to earn a premium ship, I think it takes like 2 patches, the best way to put it. Maybe 2.5, maybe. All subject to how much you work on it is the best way to put it. But she will be obviously becoming available, so that means everyone's going to have a chance to have her, which means there isn't necessarily a complete compulsory need in order to complete this campaign in order to get this ship. So the leaked information, obviously you can see this very blurry, tiny picture here, and the reason being is it is just a screenshot of someone's phone. But basically, it seems like someone who obviously has the German language, their main language, caught them uploading this. This would appear to be basically the release trailer for the February patch. However, it seems that someone accidentally clicked the wrong button when uploading it, and rather than ticking the schedule button, they ticked the premiere button. When you tick the premiere button, obviously it becomes available for people to see, and that's why we got this. Obviously, you can see from the thumbnail we have pictures of Italian battleships, and the thumbnail looks pretty legitimate along with the information below, but we'll also cover the legitimacy of this as we go forward. Now, obviously I've jumped in this quite late. The reason being is I'd rather let the little the smaller CCs have a crack at this, because obviously big news like this, I feel like the little guys kind of deserve to cover it first, so that's why I've kind of left it. And so obviously we're here wrapping up in WoWs Weekly. So what are we looking at? Well, cross-play divisions, I made this myself. Basically, it looks like the community managers will be able to showcase the testing of cross-play divisions. Now, this would make sense considering the Where Are We Clans blog post, which basically confirmed that they're aiming for cross-play divisions in March to April, Q1 of 2022. So, if they're going to be releasing it, say March or April patches, then being able to actually test it in the February patch makes entire good sense in the best way to put it. And also, I can see why Wargaming would want to get information about this out there, especially showing how it works and things like that, answering those questions. So this kind of makes a lot of sense, really, is the best way to put it. Also, Italian battleships becoming early access. Well, we know what that means. It's going to be the Tier 3 to Tier 6 Italian battleships in early access in February, with them all becoming fully researchable alongside the Tier 7 battleship in the March patch. It's presumed that the ships that will be forthcoming at Tier 3, the Dante, at Tier 4, the Cavour, at Tier 5, the Andre, at Tier 6, the Francesco, and at Tier 7, the Vittorio Veneto. You may note I've not said the names in full because I'm not very good at the Italian language, is the best way to put it. I usually get persecuted when I try. But yeah, so again, that makes entire sense that these ships would be coming to the game because they have been out on PC for a while. It's expected that if these ships do come to the game, which I'd say is a good pinch of salt that they will, they will only have normal AP and high explosives, very much as the Roma. I'd probably say that the Roma was a way of them testing the feasibility of Italian battleships in the game before they actually released the tech tree, which is a very interesting way to put it. Also, Azure Lane collaboration wave 3, so obviously we can expect some more commanders, potentially premium ships, probably camouflages as well for some ships in game. The exact commanders are not yet known, and yes, I did check the World of Warships Legends Japanese Twitter page just in case they had started releasing any information beforehand, unfortunately not. However, it can be presumed that should Azure Lane wave 3 come, then wave 1 and wave 2 commanders, camouflages and premium ships will be available for a limited time as well throughout this patch, probably for a week or so in between, with the wave 3 probably being available for like 2 or 3 weeks, I would guess. Maybe the full patch, you never know. Now, why does this make sense? Well, recently, Yostar, obviously the company that owns Azure Lane brand, basically did announce that they have actually agreed another collaboration with Wargaming, or the World Warships brand. Now, obviously, it wasn't confirmed if it was the World Warships Legends brand name. However, on the Facebook channel for World of Warships Legends, someone did obviously ask the question, does this mean Azure Lane's coming to World of Warships Legends? And the community manager's response, or whoever manages that Facebook account response, was basically, watch this space, which generally for me would say coming soon. So Azure Lane wave 3 arriving in the game, I'm not necessarily surprised. That would make sense. It has basically been over a year, I believe, since wave 2, so a continued collaboration with Yostar, it seems to make sense to me. So in general, I would say that although this thumbnail, legitimate wise, it looks very good. The thumbnail makes a lot of sense. I might even just quickly show you the thumbnail as best I can. Where are you? One more there. So the thumbnail looks pretty good, and let's just say yes, I had some personal experience in trying to imitate their thumbnail as best we put it. Second of all, excuse the sudden mass of drum beats. So get down, chaps. We're under fire. There we go. This post looks very legitimate in the way that it's set up with all the proper links. It's set up with the template for them to insert the patch notes link, and also the description and the way that's put out. So generally, this seems quite well done, especially if this was a hoax. It's a very good hoax, and I tip my hat to these gentlemen if they have made this a hoax, but it looks pretty legitimate to me. And what else makes me think it's legitimate? Well, if this was not legitimate, if none of this was true, Wargaming would be stamping their feet and would have a big post out there saying this is not happening, in order to basically quell any kind of hot coals that the community base might have. However, we've not seen any kind of quenching of the fires. In fact, we've just heard silence. Now, the only reason why you have silence is you can't obviously confirm what people are saying, but you also can't deny it. And if that's true, then that generally means that it probably is. So, in my opinion on it, it's probably pretty legitimate. Anyway, get down, chaps. We're coming under fire again. There we go. Right, so that is all the news and all the headlines. So obviously I might as well say, if you have anything that you'd like to go in the little news bar down below, then obviously down in the description will be a pinned post after this live, and while we are live, you can obviously comment in the chat, and I will obviously get around to reading the chat. If you have enjoyed WoWs Wiki, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy this content, feel free to subscribe. Thanks to subscribers, thanks to the patrons, and I'll be joining you chaps in the chat, and also going through any channel admin after this short break. Well, hello chaps in the chat. I need to work out if there's something else I can do at the end here to keep you gentlemen interchanged. But hello Sean, good to see you, good to see you. Hello Vaz, Commander XP, whoopee. I know what you mean. If you take the steel out and you take the winter coins out, what do you get for playing arena? It's not a lot, in all honesty. I mean, for playing arena, you'll get three promotion orders, 5 promotion orders, 200 paint, 50,000 founder XP, another 7 promotional orders, 1 universal accommodation, and an insignia. Whoopee! Like, you strip out the steel and you strip out the winter coins, it's nothing really. It's like, what's the point in me wasting all that credits in order to try and actually get some minuscule profits, is the best way to put it. So yeah, in general, arena, if you're not after winter coins, you're not after steel, generally I just steer clear of it, or just participate. Literally just play one game and do your one and done. Sean, I have 6 million left and need 6 million to rent the Colbert. Colbert, Stalingrad, Montana, and try them out. Legendary tier has made me broke. Really want to try them. Won't be able to buy the upgrades for them either. I'd probably say, honestly, I would say rent the Colbert, rent the Stalingrad, because they're not researchable, and then just research the Montana, because the Stalingrad will cost you a lot of global XP, and the Colbert, we don't know when she's going to make a return. So for now, I'd probably say steer clear of the Montana. I mean, the Montana's the Montana, and maybe see if you can then obviously research the Montana. Obviously, that depends how much obviously research points you have and how far along you are. Hello, Mike, it's Kevin. Hello. Hello, Warships Live as well. Good to see you, good to see you. Greetings, Jeff. Greetings. Sean, the doubloons drop for tier 6 ships has really annoyed me when I bought a couple of full price in the past. I'm one of those. I purchased Scharnhorst full price a while back, so a little bit. Amusingly, I just wanted them in my collection. But yeah, so Scharnhorst cost me 15,000, and yeah, great. She's now discounted, and I'm going to get no compensation. But I think it's a shame. It's a shame. To be honest, I kind of liked the 2-tier cost price, because it meant that some tier 6s were slightly more premium, I guess you could say, or like maybe deemed to be a bit better, I guess you could say. Vilma is totally balanced. That's why they're hiding it, not. Yeah. Vaz, I got Minna yesterday. What a beast. Absolute beast, but her armor is so thin. She's overmatched by like 8-inch. Not 8-inch AP, but anything more than 8-inch AP. So the Alaskas, the Stalingrads, and all the battleships just overmatched that armor, regardless of angling, and always find the Citadel because she's got that stepped Citadel, which acts like a shell catch. Minotaur going pop is something that happens quite often. As Jeff says, Minotaur is great until you get shot. Love shooting them. Yes, some people have made an absolute killing out of killing Minotaurs. As Van says, yes, Minno's armor is what the Vilma should have been. Much agreed. If you look at the Atlanta which got very similar high explosive DPM as the Vilma, has the armor scheme of a destroyer, which is what you expect for something with that like kind of glass cannon kind of playstyle. Whereas the Vilma is like she's got the armor and she's got the guns, and she's also got some nice consumables to go with it. Sean, yay, crossplay. I can finally play with other people with my Sega Dreamcast. No, Sean, not the Sega Dreamcast. Fans, I'll be using my PS Vita for crossplay. Oh, as long as you're not using the mobile phone, I guess. Randy, Dreamcast, still the best console controller. Sean, with all those bongs, I thought I was watching EastEnders for a second. Yeah, apologies. The only way I can go for I can go back for the news without doing the bongs, but if I go forward for the news, yeah, you get lots of drum shots. So it does sound like machine guns, is the best way to put it. Mike is going not doing arena this time around. I don't really blame you unless you're really interested. Like for me, I'm doing it because I'm interested in the lion. But otherwise, I'd probably steer clear or just do like the bare minimum to get some of the rewards. But the rewards are pretty pitiful this season, so I would probably steer clear of it if it wasn't for HMS Lion. Now, Vaz, even with the steel and winter coins, things that are not especially in small amounts, a legendary tier arena won't be worth the headache. Yeah, no. I do my 10 games a day and that's it. I'm not really too fussed at how much XP I earn in them. Vaz, I can't recommend the Stalingrad enough. It's deadly in the right hands. Stalingrad's a very good ship. My opinion on Stalingrad, she's a really good ship at a really bad time. Because Stalingrad's a light cruiser killer, even a heavy cruiser killer. But there's no light cruisers and there's no heavy cruisers for her to really pick on. Her only real main cruiser out there that she's up against most of the times is the Alaska, so it's kind of like, but she is very good. I just kind of feel like we didn't really need another high caliber gun cruiser at legendary tier. We kind of could do a lot more other cruisers, try and mix things up, things like the Des Moines and other cruisers like that. So yeah, legendary tier certainly needs a lot more work, is the best way to put it, but it doesn't mean the Stalingrad's a bad ship. I just feel like Stalingrad's a really good ship, just at the wrong time. I would have preferred to see Stalingrad probably once they fleshed out legendary tier with at least another 6 cruisers, in my opinion. I'm Peacemaker. Hello. You've caught us towards the end of WoWs Weekly, the live news show. Oh well, chaps, I've caught up with the chat and I don't think there's anything else for me to add. So obviously, last few seconds, if you've got anything you want in the news bar, you can comment in the chats. Where would it be? It's somewhere. But also down below will be a pinned post if you want to obviously comment on there after we're live. So obviously feel free to give it a thumbs up. Obviously helps with promoting this, and obviously allows me to understand that you do actually enjoy this. And I might as well say good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and good night wherever you are in the world. Look after yourselves, stay safe, stay well. I'm the Gareth Major, and until next time, back to the ball.